Hey everybody, it's Biz Coach C, and it is time for our Road to 100K training. So this is actually the fourth in our series. We've had four of these amazing trainings already. The reason I started the Road to 100K series was really to inspire Black and Brown women, minority women who are entrepreneurs, who are either aspiring entrepreneurs or you're already a small business owner. This is to help you understand that you really do not have to settle for less. And there is so much opportunity in your skill set, in your talents, in your mindset, and what's available to you as far as an entrepreneurial platform today. So I know the economic climate that we're living in right now is kind of sketchy, and everyone has a lot of questions about what's going to be happening to us in the near future. But let me reassure you that other decisions that are being made in higher places are not going to determine your outcome. Only you can actually decide your fate. And I hope that each one of you knows that. So Road to 100K isn't just about really getting to your first $100,000, your first six figures as an entrepreneur, but it's more about understanding that you can be empowered to become who you want to be and to be successful with the gifts and talents that you possess. So it is more of a mindset shift, and it is more of something that I want you to think of as I'm able to accomplish things in my life that I never thought I would be able to accomplish. And I'm showing you how to do that running your own business, right? I am a business coach. So I'm Biz Coach C, 12-year business consultant, help thousands of entrepreneurs, hundreds of businesses, all over the world, and still have a lot of partners that I deal with globally, and very, very blessed, very, very happy to have so many friends in so many places, or at least I would say such a robust network of people who are joining together to do amazing things, right? So 100K Mindset is the first one in the series that we went over, and we talked about how to shift your thinking from employee to employer mindset, or employee to entrepreneur, and understanding that the book stops with you. So that means your goals, you've got to look at those things differently and visualize the techniques that you're going to be using in your financial success, as personal as well as professional, right? And then the second session that we went into was finding your profitable niche, where we talked about what exactly is it that makes you unique, and how you can do market research to determine the correct amount of demand and what type of competition you're going to be up against, and just all around validating your business idea for profitability, because if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. So make sure that you're thinking about what's going to make you profitable, that you're in a market that is going to help make you money, because not all markets are highly lucrative or that profitable. And then we're thinking about building your brand. That was session 3. And I always say, build a brand that is already worth six figures even before you're making it. Crafting that brand story, making sure that you can connect with other people, designing that profitable, the professional, but yet that authentic brand, something that represents you, but still is going to stand out and just create that strong presence that you need, that's going to connect with the people that you need to connect with, right? And the fourth thing today that we're hitting on is smart financial foundations. So now here in month 4, and we have one of these trainings the last Wednesday in every month of this year. So hopefully by the end of this year, you will have a 12-part series on how to reach your first six figures running your own business. I can't teach you something that I haven't accomplished. So trust me when I say that it really took me a long time to learn how to do this for myself. But now that I've learned how to do it, I love to pass that knowledge on to other people, right? So today is starting to build your smart financial foundation, what that looks like. And so that's the presentation that I have on the screen for you here today. I'm open to any questions that you may have at any time about anything. I'm happy to answer them. This is also going to be posted in the Six Secrets group, Six Secrets to Six Figures group, my Facebook group, for 30 days before Facebook will take that down, but it will live forever, probably on my website as well as my YouTube channel. So if you're not following me on YouTube for all of this free training for small business owners, then you definitely need to be doing that. But all right, y'all, welcome to our 4th training. So we're not just here chasing checks. Again, we're here building systems that are going to help keep you growing and help keep you growing toward money, right? So this session is all about me kind of laying down the smart financial foundations that most entrepreneurs overlook. So you're probably going to hear a lot of things in today's training for only about 30 minutes, but you're not going to hear elsewhere other than someone who's been like really experienced with it and have done it themselves. So if you've ever felt broken, not having resources, not having money, not having access to resources, not knowing where to get resources from, if you've ever felt broke, even after you made sales in your business, this one's for you. All right. So what are we covering today? It's going to be three main things. I'm going to be covering with you how to budget for a real business and not just expenses, because we can't just stop there, right? Absolutely not. And the second thing that we're going to be talking about is the truth about business credit, things that Google is just not going to tell you. And I won't say that ChatGPT won't or Grok, because they probably will, but how to track and manage cash flow like a CEO is going to be that last thing that we take a look at today. So if you're ready to level up your business finances, here's what we're going to cover today to help you with smart budgeting, business credit secrets, and CEO level cash flow management. So what you can look like, that's what you can look for today. So the first thing is budgeting, right? So seriously, let's talk about budgeting for your business. And here's the tea. Most small business owners don't really budget. And I don't know if a lot of people realize that or not. And if you are one of these small business owners, then you're probably looking at me going, yep, she's right. So most small business owners are just looking at what they have and they're spending as little as possible, which when you're in survival mode, that makes sense. But when we switch over to CEO mode, we've got to move differently. We've got to think differently. So what do smart CEOs do differently? It's the big question, right? They plan for profit and not just expenses. So you can't just ask in the sense, how much does this thing cost? You got to ask yourself, how much do I want to make? So what you're going to do here is you're not going to be thinking about how much you're going to be spending and how much money it's going to take to do this and do that. Start with your desired income. How much do you want to make? Now, remember, we talked about goal setting like a couple of sessions back. So it still is at the forefront. Start with your desired outcome. Set a goal for how much money you want to make. Now, how do you determine how much money you want to make? You want to look at really a couple of things. What is it going to take for the business to sustain itself? And what is it going to take to sustain you personally? So what does sustainability look like for you professionally and personally? How is the business? How much is it going to take for the business to survive and thrive? How much is it going to take for you to survive and thrive? And now that you've got that number in mind, I need to make this much money a month. And hopefully, let's start with just saying that number is 6 figures, right? So let's start with just that idea of that's how much we want to make. So let's say what, 120,000 a year. That's what we want to make. So then let's reverse engineer those numbers. And we're going to work that amount back to think, and we're literally going to break it down so by 12 and say, hey, this is how much money I want to make in a year. So this is how much that I need to make each month to make this thing happen. We've just set an income goal and we're reverse engineering ourselves back to where we need to begin or back to our daily operational goals. So budget like this is a real example. If you look at this section here in the middle, it breaks it down for you. So what I'm giving you today is a 10K a month formula. So say you want to make 120K a year, right? I'm going to give you a formula for setting your money aside to make this happen and to make it happen sooner than later. So you can take these same percentages and you can apply them to any amount of money that your business is making. I don't care if it's $500. I don't care if it's $1,000. I don't care if it's $10,000. Apply this concept. Use these percentages. You take 50% of your earnings and you put it towards your operating costs. So those are your expenses like your software, your staff, your supplies, your subscriptions, all of the things, right? And then you're going to take 20% and you're going to set that aside for taxes every month. You're going to take 15% of what you earn and you're going to reinvest that back in your business, whether that's tools for development, whether you're putting it in ads to promote the business. 15% of that goes toward reinvestments. And I know when I say ads, some of you may be thinking, well, isn't that an operating cost? An operating cost is something that we think of that probably will not give us a return on our investment that will hit us directly on the bottom line. When we're talking about reinvestment, we're talking about putting our money into things that will directly impact our bottom line as when it comes to the return on our investment. So reinvestment is 15% of what you're going to earn. Then you're going to take 10% of what you earn and you're going to pay yourself. You have to pay yourself. You're important and you got to live because you still have personal things to meet, just like we talked about professional and personal. You've got personal things to meet as well as the professional. Pay yourself. And then the last 5%, I want you to take and put it aside for emergency or wealth purposes. And now if you want to split this into 2.5% and 2.5%, you could put 2.5 in wealth and investing, and you could do 2.5% in a savings or rainy day fund. But those are your breakdowns for where I want you to think about putting your money, right? 50% of your operating, 20% for your taxes, 15% reinvestment, 10% to pay yourself, and 5% for emergency and wealth building. It works, okay? It's math, it's numbers, it's what we do in business. The numbers have to add up, okay? And they make sense. So here's what else I want you guys to take a look at. So next, the last thing here is really the big mistakes that I see. And most often, and I won't say that they're big mistakes, but when they happen, they have huge ripple effects. And a lot of newbies make these. And sometimes people who have been in business for a while will also make the same type of mistakes. But some of the mistakes that you want to look out for, and if you're doing these, check yourself immediately, because you can't reach 100K and you can't maintain 100K like this. So what I want you to do is look out for these mistakes. Having no system in place for separating your business and your personal money. I swear I just made a reel that was like, I will fight you. I will literally fight you and we will throw hands. If I find out that you are not separating your business from your personal expenses, don't let Biz Coach C find that out. I will get you. I will find you. I will get you. So make sure you're not doing that. Second mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make is they spend based on the vibes and they're not spending based on strategy. Feelings are fickle and your feelings will never lead you right when it comes to financial investments. Okay. Intuition is good, it's strong, whatever. We have our gut feelings and all of this and that, but numbers don't lie. Calculate the moves you need to make based on your financial strategy, not on vibes, because when you feel good, you'll want to spend money, you'll want to invest money. And just because you feel good does not mean that you're going to be making a choice that's going to be beneficial for you long term. It may feel good right then, but a year or two down the line, and sometimes a few months to 6 months down the line, you are feeling the ripple effect of that thing that you did. All right. So no impulsive things here, no vibes. We're focusing on strategy. Stay the course, right? The third mistake that a lot of people make is this: not accounting for scale up costs. So interest rates, shipping, bulk orders that you have to do. What if you have to call on legal help for something? All of those things are what you should definitely consider as surprise mistakes, right? And they're the mistakes that a lot of newbies make when they're fresh on the scene in entrepreneurship. So it's super important that you avoid those things. Here's the assignment that I want you to do, right? And it's Biz Coach C. So of course, yes, you got work to do. I'm going to give you homework because you can't get to 100K frivolously. You got to focus on this thing and make it real. So here's the first assignment that I want you to undertake. I want you to build out a 10K per month budget for yourself based on those percentages above and what your business, what the goals that you have for your business to bring in. So even if you're only at 1K a month now, act like you're already making it. Act like you're already making the 6 figures. Build yourself a 10K per month budget and base it on the 50% you're going to put in your operating costs, 20% you're going to set aside for taxes, 15% take that and reinvest it, 10% pay yourself, 5% emergency and wealth building. So that's your assignment. Work on building out a 10K budget for you in that business, what those numbers look like, what you're currently making. How can you make that happen? How much in sales do you have to do? So that's your assignment. All right. So that covers our topic number 1 of how we're budgeting, not like survivors, but we're budgeting like CEOs. And again, I have to tell you, why is that important? Because most small business owners don't really have a budget. They don't really budget when they're doing their thing. They're only just looking for what they have. They're looking at what they have and what they think they have to spend. And they're reviewing that as little as possible. And as long as you're looking at something and you think you have enough to spend, then that's always going to leave you in a position of poverty mindset, and it's going to leave you in survival mode. I need you to walk away from survival mode, okay? I need you out of there mentally. There is nothing there for you. I want you to leave it in your past, step on it, stomp on it, force it into the ground, bury it. Don't go back to visit the grave. Leave survival mode and poverty mindset where they are. They are definitely not going to benefit you in this economy. And there's going to be all sorts of things and all types of language swirling around you in the news, on your phone, on the radio, talking about the economic state, the horrible business climate for certain people right now. Don't believe that hype. You keep plugging, you keep working, you keep investing in yourself. All right, second topic. I'm not going to preach to y'all today. I have to give you a coaching soapbox every now and then. Second topic is what I want to give you about business credit today. So listen, your business should have its own money. That's on period. That's it. Your business should have its own money. And if you're trying to grow fast without burning out, then you need to learn the game of business credit. And I know a lot of us, as we were growing up, we got a slap on that wrist telling us, don't you take a credit card out? Don't you apply for one? Don't you get one? And that's under the premise that you're going to abuse it and not use it to leverage it to help yourself in the future. Now, there's some things I want to teach you about that. So here's what they don't teach you, right? That Biz Coach C is going to tell you today. Here's what they don't teach you. You can build business credit before you start making consistent revenue in your business. And I meet a lot of business owners that disagree with me on that, but I'm telling you, I did it myself. Just be disciplined. And if you cannot be disciplined, it's not that I'm teaching you wrong. It's that you need to go back and check some of your spending habits, right? Because you can actually start to use and build business credit before you get consistent revenue in the business. And we're going to talk about that. You don't necessarily need your social security number for every single credit application that you're going to be submitting for business credit, right? Business credit is based on your business entity, which is your legal formation status. Then that by that, I mean LLC, PLLC, sole proprietorship, C Corp, S Corp, and your EIN. You need a business address, business phone number. You need a vendor credit history. So have you some net 30 vendor accounts that you're going to sign up for. So here's the types of funding, business credit funding, that you may know about, you may have heard about, but some of you may not. So net 30 vendors are the first one. And those are the ones that you're going to use to build your business credit without using your personal credit. These are small accounts like Grainger, Summa Office Supplies, and use it. Use it every month. If you don't have an account already set up, go forth and apply. Hey, LaWanda Engel, go online and apply for at least one of these net vendor accounts. Sign up to use it. Now, again, you will have to have a legally formed business and an EIN, business demographics, the address, the phone number, and they're going to ask for an email address. But you're going to need that to sign up for this. You will also, for some of these, need a DUNS number, and you get that from dnb.com, Dun & Bradstreet. But net 30 vendor accounts will help you build your business credit without using your personal credit. And a lot of these websites have things that you can use for, especially people who are in home offices. Like, it's one of my favorite things to go on Quill and order some things that I need for my home office. As simple as printer paper, paper clips, whiteboards that I've used to help me take my notes, clipboards, folders. You can get customized items to give out, like ink pens and sticky notes and headphones, different things like that. Like if you're having events or you just want to send a gift to a client or a customer that's been loyal. So there are lots of opportunities out there to create net 30 vendor accounts. Make sure you're looking for them. And if you're following me online, I give you like lists of these in groups of 8 at a time to help you do it. Microloans are another type of business funding, and these are usually perfect for small business owners who are making less than 50K in revenue a year. And so what you need to do is make sure that business is secured, and there are a lot of different avenues of where you can get microloans from. You can get them from lending institutions through the SBA. You can get microloans from your local jobs foundation committee in your area. You can get microloans from your small business center in your area. You can get microloans from nonprofit organizations that support other small businesses and things like that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just in rural communities. Revenue-based funding. You can get funding based on the amount of your sales and not your score. So take some time to research revenue-based funding for small business and figure out what entities it is in your area that will actually lend to you based on the amount of sales that you get in. It's a huge possibility, and you're not using your personal credit for that. And then what a lot of business owners like to hear is the word grants, right? But notice it's the last thing I'm talking about, and you should not have a lot of trust or lean into grants a whole lot. Don't rely on them because they take longer to apply for. It's very competitive for the small business arena. You can qualify for multiple small business grants at once. Yes, it's possible, but sometimes the payout takes longer. The application process takes effort, and it definitely will be a competitive landscape because a lot of people are usually applying for these. But stack them, take a look out, and make sure you keep note of whenever somebody is posting about a grant for a small business, stay on task with that and keep up with it and figure out if it's something that you should be doing. All right. Now, here's one of the uncommon tips that I share with folks when it comes to some of those business credit secrets, right? And we've already gone over these four with the grant stacking, but I'm going to leave that screen up for a second while I start talking about the next thing so you guys can get it. So the next uncommon tip that I have for you is about opening a secured small business credit card. Even if you have low revenue in the business, small business credit cards secured, they help you build your paydex score very early and very quickly in the game, right? So what is a paydex score? A paydex score is a business credit score that goes up to 100. So you want to be 80 or above. You're doing really great if your paydex score is 80 or above. Now, of course, I'm not just going to mention secured business credit cards to you and not give you some recommendations that I think would be very good for you to apply for. So I've got some for new entrepreneurs that I'm going to recommend. And then I also have some secured business credit cards for small businesses for growing entrepreneurs. So when I say new entrepreneurs, you're fresh on the scene. You're probably one from not quite at 2 years yet, maybe at a year or a little bit past. Growing entrepreneurs, I'm envisioning you guys being 2 years, anywhere between probably 2 to 4 years, maybe going up into your 5th year. So let's talk about these secure business credit cards that you would probably be able to qualify for. And let me see if I can get my screen back up here so I can show you guys. Yes. Okay. So here are the ones that I want you to apply for because I'm looking at it different on my side. For new entrepreneurs, you want to look at the Bank of America Business Advantage card, the Hello Alice Small Business Secured MasterCard, and the Open Sky Secured Visa Credit Card, right? Those are for new entrepreneurs. Now, if you're a growing entrepreneur, you're past those 2 years, you've got a little bit more revenue coming in than those newbies, then what you want to look at is these 3 cards. Bank of America Business Advantage, again, that same one is good for either or. But for growing entrepreneurs, I'm going to give you 2 different ones. Valley Visa Secured Business Credit Card. Look into the Valley Visa. And last one I want you to look at is First National Bank of Omaha Business Edition. So opening a secured business credit card, even with your low revenue amounts, are going to get you building your paydex score early and faster. So those are 6 cards, 3 there for new entrepreneurs, 3 there for growing entrepreneurs. And depending on where you are in your journey, how much money you're making, if you're under 50K and you're in your first 0, 1, 1.5 years, then you definitely are what I would still call a new entrepreneur. Now, if you're beyond that, I would call you growing. Even if you're still under 50K, but you've made it past a couple of years, maybe getting close to it, possibly, then I want you to think about those growth cards, right? All right. So here's the next thing that I have for you, and we're getting ready to shut this down. Let's talk about cash flow and your business lifeline and what that actually looks like. So cash flow definitely is the lifeline of your business. So it's not necessarily the amount of revenue that you're making, but it's what you're doing with the revenue that's coming in that makes the difference in how the cash flows throughout your business and what the cash is actually helping you do. So I don't care how many sales you made last week. If you don't know where the money is going, you're only one invoice away from panic mode. Stay out of survival mode. I don't care how much money you're making in sales. I'm going to say it again. If you don't know where your money is going, you are one invoice away from sheer panic mode. You are one bill away from living in fear in your business. Don't do that. Here's what you need to do, right? And here's what you need to know. Cash flow is basically equals what comes in versus what goes out in your business on a monthly basis. So the things that you definitely need to know, you've got to have a grip on this. Number one, you need to know when your payments are coming in. Number two, you need to know what's on auto draft and what's due sooner or later. Know what's on auto draft and know what's due. Number three, know what's left after your expenses, right? Because we often want to look at, here's what I have to spend. Let me spend, let me pay these bills. And then it's, okay, I pay the bills. Now what's next? But you're not taking into consideration those percentages that I gave you. You're not setting anything aside for taxes. You're not paying yourself. You're keeping your business locked into survival mode like that. This is how you unlock that survival mode. You understand when your payments are coming in. Even if you're a person who's working on invoice, you want to know that you have either next day due receipts or same day due receipts, receipts due in 7 days, receipts due in 15, receipts due in 30, receipts due in 60. Whenever that is, know when your payments are coming in and set your policies so people who purchase from you and do business will know, I need to have this payment done by here, or maybe I could possibly be charged a late fee, or I might not be able to do business with this business owner again. Set the standard, right? It's important. Tools and tactics that work. And just in case you're wondering, like, that's why a lot of people do that. Tell you that you have to pay them by a certain time. That's why a lot of people have those standards, like those late fees, because they're protecting themselves on the back end. And they're holding you to an expectation that if you are purchasing a service or good from them and they've delivered on their promise, then you definitely owe them their just due for what they took to prepare that and to provide it to you. All right, so here's some tools and tactics that actually work. I want you to use something like, just if you're just starting, especially you're not ready to invest in accounting software, you don't have to jump into accounting software at the beginning. Although I do advise it, because that $25 a month, trust me, it's going to save you so much headache, so much heartache, so much saving receipts on paper and all of this and that. But if you are just refusing to invest in accounting software right now, let me just tell you, a Google Sheet is fine. Now, you're not going to be able to stay there because we're expecting our business to grow to 6 figures. This is what this is all about. But start with some simple accounting, right? Don't track it monthly. Track it weekly. You need to be looking at your money every week. And what this does is it keeps away the surprises, right? It keeps away the headache. It keeps away the wondering and the anxiety, the stomach aches. It just keeps away so much. Look at your expenses. Look at your money every week. What's happening with the tracking, right? Weekly, not monthly. Take away all of the surprise out of it. You'll feel better. Use color codes, make sure green for income, red for expenses, yellow for pending. However you want to set the standard for that out, make sure you have a system for understanding the money that you're coming in, the money that's coming in, the money that's due soon, or the money that's on draft, and the money that's going to be left after your expenses or after those operational costs. Because after you've put that money toward those operational costs, which I'm saying in percentage wise, if we're calculating by formula, that needs to be at least 50% of what you're bringing in revenue. And then we're going to break down those other percentages with what's left after those expenses. That's why it's important that you know that. Plan for 3 months ahead for slow seasons, for launches, for major expenses. And this is different. When I'm talking about long-term planning, I'm going to be telling you to plan to have 6 months saved up. Like, for what would it take for you to live through the next 6 months based on how you're living now? And even if you reduce that and you brought that down to something really close to home that's super manageable, that's what I'm talking about when I say long-term life planning based on your entrepreneurship. I'm going to tell you to save 6 months out for investments to protect yourself, right? Now, when I'm talking about smart financial planning, as far as these financial foundations, I want you to look at 3 months worth of financial planning and plan ahead for major expenses that could come up, or even slow seasons if we're looking at you running a seasonal business, right? That's super important for you to do. So that's that new insight that I'm giving you today. So the last couple of things that I want to say is right here, use a reverse cash flow calendar. And by that, I want you to, when I say build a reverse cash flow calendar, here's what I want you to do. So it's like another assignment. I want you to write your income goal at the top. And then I want you to list what exact products and services that you're going to offer to help you get to that income goal. So say we talked about planning for 10K months, right? Because that's definitely going to get us to a 6-figure year. So if we're planning to make $10,000 in 1 month, list the exact products and services that you're going to offer, that you want to sell to help get you there, right? And of course, these can't just be just like a slow $10 purchase. Say I want to sell 100 products, but they're only going to be like $5 each. Well, that's just $500, and that's fine. But you have to make sure that you're going to be adding up those numbers to get to 10K at the end of the month. If we're thinking about making 6 figures here, and whether you're going to be mixing up your business model to earn that money in different ways, doing the same business, your product needs to be something profitable, value, and something that people are going to want. You got to reach the right people to sell it to. It's got to be people who actually need it, that are going to be ready to invest in it. So that has a lot more to do with marketing. But if we're using this reverse cash flow calendar, your goal for how much you want to make, and then you got to list the products and services that you're going to sell to get it there. And you got to fill in deadlines, promos, things that you're going to be doing to make that happen throughout the month. So you're taking an actual calendar with the dates on it. And you're going to be writing in on these days. Here's my deadline for this week. I should have made, this week I should have made 2.5K. And if we're breaking down a 10K month into 4 weeks, then you're going to be looking at making $2,000, $2,500 a week. How are you going to get to $2,500 a week in that business? What does that look like for you? And break it down daily. How much are you going to have to sell each day? It is just this intense when you're planning on making 100K a year, 6 figures a year, right? And once you do it the first time, it does get easier after that. Right now, it's challenging because it's new to you. You haven't done it before, and that's okay. It's going to make you really uncomfortable. This whole process is going to make you really uncomfortable. You're going to discover things about yourself that you never would have imagined that you would find out. Your relationships will change, with yourself, with other people, because you will start to become more of who you want to become. You're looking for somebody within yourself. And when you start discovering who that person is, we want that person to be someone of integrity, someone who is doing things that are ethical, someone who is disciplined and offering great value in their products and services, and not just selling something that's not going to benefit anyone for any reason, or half benefit someone and have people out here paying double of what your offering is actually worth. Don't be that business owner, right? Be the one who makes it based on what you're actually providing, based on what's real. So set up a simple weekly cash flow tracker and just list out the expected payments that you can get in and out for the next 30 days, right? because it's not so much about expenses. You got to know where the money is going, but it's all about here. What are your goals? How much are you getting in? Where are you allocating those funds, and what's left after proper allocation? That's what reaching six figures does for you. So here's the thing. We don't wing it, right? And I'm going to close out on this. Don't never just wing it. You build it by making CEO moves is what I call it. So, and that starts with your money. And these foundations are things that keep your business long after the hype dies down, because everybody gets excited. Everybody gets zeal. Everybody is, yeah, I got a great product. Oh, she's doing great. He's doing great. But you know what? It's during the hype that dies. That's where you know what you're really made out of. So my recap for you today is to budget for profit, not just bills. Use business credit before you need it. That way, when you do need it, the numbers are there to support you. And then track your cash flow like your life depends on it, because it literally does. The lifeblood of your business is the cash flow. Now, here's your call to action. I gave you some assignments today, and I want you to do those. The last thing I'm going to say is after you've done that calendar, after you've opened that Net30 account, after you've done, what was the first assignment I gave you? Let me look back. After you have, built that 10K monthly budget for your business, after you've done those three things, what I want you to do is download a reference that I have for you on my website. I want you to go to services, go to clsmgmt.com, go to my website, click on services at the top. And then at services, you're going to see digital products. And let me put this up on the screen. That way you guys can see it and follow along with me, because I don't want you to miss this stuff. No way. Let me share another screen with you all. And thank y'all for watching today's training, because I absolutely love doing these trainings for folks who are already my clients, folks who are going to become my clients. Yeah, LaWanda, seriously, CEO moves. That's what we do, honey. Yes, ma'am. All right. So here's what you do. You go to my website at clsmgmt.com. When you get there, this is what it's going to look like. And let me plug up my computer so it won't die on us while we're going through this last part. All right, you guys, go to my website. When you get there, it's going to look like this. And I want you to click on services at the top. When you do, you're going to see digital products. Click on digital products. And the one that you need that coincides with this training is going to be toolkit number 3. Small business startup toolkit number 3, which is funding options and financials. And once you download that, it is going to walk you through how to do this for your own business, right? It's going to have a questionnaire that's included in it that's going to make sure your funding fit. And it's a step-by-step guide to help you discover what type of funding is best for your business that aligns with your credit, your financial standing, and your business goals. So there's no guesswork. The second thing that you're going to get in here is a financial metrics breakdown, where you're going to learn the top financial metrics that every entrepreneur needs to track and complete their definitions and simple formulas to make sure you can calculate what you need easily as far as your goals and what you need to be investing in, and breaking down those percentages, right? And the last thing that I give you in here is expert tips on how to position your business to be funding ready and to attract the right type of opportunities. So you need different types of funding at different stages in business. When you're a startup business, you need startup capital. When you're a growing business, you probably need working capital. And when you're a business that's thriving, you probably need capital for expansion. So there's different reasons why you need money. You might need it for equipment. You might need it for supplies. You might need it for staffing or for outsourcing certain things that you're doing. But this is an instant download once you make the purchase on my website. But again, all of these things are here to help you. And this has been our 4th training in our Road to 100K series. And this one today has been Smart Financial Foundations. I'm Biz Coach C. And I just want you to remember, you ain't broke. You're not broke. You're just building. But now you have the plan to make it happen, and you have the plan to break through. So Thank you guys for watching today, and I appreciate every single one of you so much. And I look forward to hearing from you. Post in the group. Send me something, send me a DM or something on Facebook, pop something in the comments to let me know if this was helpful. You guys have an amazing day. See you next time.